It's hard to follow on somebody that has trained on writing. Very good. So a couple of caveats. This is just personal thoughts about the response to the attack last year. Usually when something like this happened, I used to live in the US, so it was sadly more often. I focus more on the response of people than the act itself. So this is kind of a write-up about that. There is a spectrum of interactions that lies between constructive and antagonistic responses. Between those two extremes, several types of interactions often happen. We are good at identifying positive interactions, for example, when we see an embrace. We also can clearly identify when an interaction is bad, for example, a physical altercation. But in between those, there is a lot that is happening, and it's hard to figure out where to draw the line between antagonistic and constructive. And it's in the drawing of that line that I want to speak a little bit more about today. So diversity of opinion and viewpoints is fundamental to discovery. They enrich our world and improve our understanding of our role in it. However, diversity of views leads to awkward interactions and sometimes conflict. Our role as researchers and educators is to embrace diversity, understand the positions of others, move through awkwardness, and avoid conflict. And we need to create spaces where these difficult conversations can occur, even though sometimes we might face offensive arguments, but of course we cannot allow for harm to happen. Our mission at the university is to research, teach, and deliberate in the pursuit of knowledge and truth. Free expression and culture of avoiding conventions and tolerating dissent are essential to that mission. And this is why that line between constructive and antagonistic, wherever that is, needs to err in the direction of open conversations and active argumentation. In my experience, most of the antagonistic interactions that I face come from a place of fear rather than malice. This fear can stem from direct threats, perceived threats, or experiences of past harm. In these interactions, both parties are fearful. And fear can significantly impact our capacity to interact constructively in various contexts, including discussions on contentious issues like climate change. The effects of fear and constructive interaction can be overwhelming. Fear can lead us to adopt a defensive stance. Fear can inhibit open and honest communication. Fear can erode trust between participants. Fear compromises people's ability to listen actively and empathetically. Fear can narrow individuals' focus and reduce cognitive flexibility, making it harder to think creatively or consider alternative viewpoints. Fear of harm can amplify in-group versus out-group dynamics, leading to increased polarization. People might retreat into echo chambers where their views they reinforce and opposition is demonized, further impeding constructive interaction. I think, in my experience, the antidote to fear is care. Care embodies empathy, compassion, understanding, and a genuine desire for the well-being of others. Care can significantly influence interactions, particularly in discussions around issues like climate change. Here's how I think that care makes constructive interactions more viable. By the way, this conversation on care comes from research that one of my students, Laura Blanco, does with me, and she actually introduced me to this notion. Not the notion of care, the notion of research on care. Care encourages individuals to put themselves in others' shoes, fostering a deeper and deeper understanding of different perspective and experience. This empathy can reduce defensive postures and make individuals more open to dialogue. Care encourages active listening and genuine attempts to understand people's origins, which is foundational for constructive interaction. Care creates an environment where people feel valued and respected, making them more likely to communicate openly and honestly. When individuals feel cared for, they're more inclined to express their thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment or attack. Care builds trust between parties. This trust lays the groundwork for meaningful and productive discussions where parties are willing to be vulnerable and open. Care motivates individuals to work together towards common goals, especially in contexts like addressing climate change, where collective action is crucial. Care inspires individuals and communities to take positive actions that reflect their concern for others and the planet. This proactive stance is fundamentally constructive and solution-oriented. Care helps bridge divides and reduce polarization. It emphasizes commonality and interconnectedness, which can counteract the us versus them mentality often driven by fear. As a professor, I have a privileged position in society. We're training the next generation of citizens. That responsibility is profound and essential. My duty is to educate people to overcome their fear and embrace each other's humanity. While respect for each other's position goes a long way in creating a place for tolerance, we need to go beyond respect and move towards care and understanding for others to develop not only tolerance, but solidarity. Solidarity allows us to build trust and understanding, which then leads to respect for diverse opinions. It is rooted in experience. It fosters a culture of care at the university. If we foster a culture of care at the university, we'll be better prepared to have difficult conversations. I will be all the better for it. Thank you.